A 3-minute water break sounds harmless, right? Players get a drink, coaches get a second to breathe, and fans at home get a quick reset. But what if I told you those 3 minutes might be the most controversial part of the entire 2026 World Cup? Not the referees, not VAR, not the group stage drama, and not even superstar injuries. A water break. Because what started as a simple player safety rule has suddenly turned into something way bigger. Players are questioning it. Coaches are quietly using it like a tactical timeout. Fans are already frustrated. Medical experts say it may not even be enough. And broadcasters may have just discovered one of the most valuable 3-minute windows in modern soccer. So the real question is not just, should players get water? The real question is, did FIFA just change the rhythm of football forever? Whoop! Let's break this down properly, because once you understand what is really happening here, you will never look at a hydration break the same way again. For decades, football had one simple identity. The clock keeps moving. No quarters, no commercial timeouts, no planned pauses every few minutes. The game breathes on its own. That non-stop flow is part of what makes soccer feel different from American sports. In the NFL, NBA, NHL, and even baseball, stoppages are built into the product. TV timeouts are part of the business. Coaches expect them, broadcasters sell them, and fans live with them. But football has always been different. The tension builds because the game does not stop for you. If a team is under pressure, they have to survive it. If momentum swings, the other team has to deal with it in real time. If a coach sees a problem, he usually has to wait until halftime or shout from the touchline and hope somebody hears him. That is the soul of the sport. And now, for the first time on this kind of scale, we are seeing something that feels dangerously close to a built-in timeout. The official reason is player welfare. And to be fair, that part matters. The 2026 World Cup is being played across the United States, Canada, and Mexico. That means different climates, different stadiums, different kickoff times, and in some cities, potentially brutal summer heat. We are talking about athletes running at full speed, under huge pressure, in conditions that can push the human body to dangerous limits. So from a medical point of view, hydration breaks make sense. Players need fluids. They need electrolytes. They need a chance to cool down. Nobody wants to see a player collapse, because the game refused to pause for 3 minutes. And that is why the medical side of this debate is actually pretty clear. Health experts are not saying, get rid of the breaks. A lot of them are saying the opposite. They are saying 3 minutes might not be long enough. Because if the purpose is truly heat safety, then a quick sip of water and a rush team huddle may not solve the real problem. In extreme heat, players may need more time to cool their bodies, lower their core temperature, and recover properly before going back into a high-intensity match. So when FIFA says this is about protecting players, the medical argument gives them a strong defense. But here is where the story gets messy. Because the moment that break happens, it stops being only a medical break. It becomes a tactical break. And every coach in the world knows it. Imagine your team is getting cooked. Your midfield is getting opened up. Your fullbacks are getting dragged out of position. Your striker is isolated. The crowd is getting loud. The other team smells blood. Normally you have to survive that storm. But now the referee blows the whistle, everybody walks over, and the coach pulls the players in. Suddenly he has a free meeting in the middle of the half. He can fix the press. He can change the shape. He can calm down nervous players. He can tell the team exactly where the opponent is hurting them. He can even show clips, diagrams, or tablet visuals if the tournament allows that kind of setup. That is not just hydration. That is coaching. And this is where fans start to feel like something has changed. Because momentum in soccer is real. Sometimes a smaller team gets 10 magical minutes where they feel unstoppable. The favorite gets nervous. The stadium starts believing. The underdog starts flying into tackles, winning second balls, pushing higher, and suddenly the whole game feels different. Then the whistle goes. Hydration break. Everyone stops. The pressure dies. The favorite gets a reset. The coach gets control back. The underdog loses that emotional wave. And when play restarts, the match may never feel the same again. That is why fans are upset. Not because they hate water. Not because they do not care about player safety. But because they understand that soccer is not just tactics on a board. It is emotion, chaos, rhythm, panic, belief, and timing. A 3-minute pause can change all of that. And the players know it too. Some players are fine with hydration breaks when the heat is dangerous. That is understandable. Nobody is against safety. But what they do not like is the idea of forcing the exact same break into every match regardless of the conditions. Because if it is a brutally hot afternoon in Mexico, sure, give the players a break. But what about a cooler evening match? What about a stadium with perfect conditions? What about a game where the pace is electric and nobody wants the rhythm interrupted? That is where the debate gets real. FIFA wants consistency. Same rules for everybody. Same timing. Same structure. But football conditions are not always the same. And that creates a trap. If FIFA only uses hydration breaks in some matches, then one team may get a tactical reset while another team does not. That feels unfair. But if FIFA forces them in every match, then fans and players are stuck with stoppages even when the weather does not really demand it. So no matter what FIFA does, somebody is going to be mad. But there is one group that might not be mad at all: broadcasters. Because while fans are arguing about momentum, and coaches are talking tactics, and doctors are talking heat safety, TV networks are looking at something completely different. A World Cup match with 2 hydration breaks gives broadcasters something they normally do not get in soccer: predictable ad windows inside live play. That is massive. Soccer is usually difficult for advertisers because the game does not stop. You can show ads before kickoff, at halftime, and after the final whistle. But once the ball is moving, the broadcast has to stay with the match. Hydration breaks change that. Now there is a planned pause, a clear window, a moment where a network can cut away, run commercials, come back, and continue the match. And when you multiply that across an entire tournament, the numbers become wild. A couple of minutes here, a couple of minutes there, across dozens and dozens of games. Suddenly, you are not talking about one small ad break. You are talking about hours of new premium advertising space attached to one of the biggest sports events on earth. That is why this debate feels so much bigger than water. Because once money enters the room, rules have a funny way of staying around. Even if the original reason was player safety, the business side can quickly fall in love with the result. And that is what worries a lot of fans. They are asking a very fair question. Is this really about protecting players? Or is football slowly being reshaped into a more TV-friendly product? Now, to be clear, it can be both. That is what makes this debate complicated. The heat risk can be real. The medical need can be real. The tactical impact can be real. The fan frustration can be real. The advertising opportunity can also be real. All of those things can be true at the same time. And that is why this issue is not going away. Because every side has a point. Doctors can say, we need to protect players. Players can say, use common sense, not automatic rules. Fans can say, stop killing the flow of the game. Coaches can say, we are just using the break available to us. Broadcasters can say, we are working within the rules. And FIFA can sit in the middle and say, we are doing this for safety. But the bigger question is what happens next. Because if hydration breaks stay for the 2026 World Cup, do they disappear after the tournament? Or do they become normal? Could we see them in future World Cups? Could they appear in club competitions? Could leagues start experimenting with planned stoppages? Could football slowly move toward a 4-quarter rhythm without ever officially saying it? That sounds dramatic. But this is how sports evolve. Not always with one giant announcement. Sometimes it happens quietly. First, it is a safety measure. Then coaches adapt. Then broadcasters build around it. Then fans get used to it. Then suddenly, the thing that felt strange becomes part of the game. That is the part people should be watching closely. Because once a rule creates value for powerful people, it becomes very hard to remove. And if those 3 minutes are valuable to coaches, useful to broadcasters, and defensible under player safety, then FIFA has a very easy reason to keep them, even if fans hate it. So the real debate is not whether hydration matters. Of course it matters. The real debate is whether FIFA can protect players without changing the identity of the game. Because football does not need to become American football. It does not need to become basketball. It does not need to become a stop-start entertainment product where every pause becomes a commercial opportunity. Soccer is powerful because of its flow. 1 half, 45 minutes, no easy escape, no guaranteed reset. That is what creates drama. When a team is suffering, they have to solve it on the field. When a team is flying, they get to ride that wave. When the crowd feels a shift, The whole stadium becomes part of the pressure. Breaks interrupt that, sometimes for good reasons. But they still interrupt it. And that is why this World Cup hydration debate matters more than people think. Because it is not just about players drinking water. It is about who controls the rhythm of the match. The players? The referee? The coach? The broadcaster? Or FIFA? And honestly, that answer may define the future of the sport. Now, here is my take. My name is Jemmy, and I think player safety should always come first. If the heat is dangerous, stop the game. Give the players water. Give them proper cooling time. Do not gamble with someone's health for entertainment. But automatic breaks in every single match? That is where I have questions. Because once you make it automatic, it becomes bigger than safety. It becomes strategy. It becomes a broadcast window. It becomes part of the match structure. And once that happens, football starts moving into a very different place. So maybe the solution is not ban hydration breaks. Maybe the solution is smarter rules. Use real heat data. Use medical staff. Use weather conditions. Use kickoff time. Use stadium environment. Make the break happen when the players actually need it, not just because the clock hits a certain minute. And if broadcasters are allowed to run ads during those breaks, then fans deserve transparency. Because supporters should not miss live World Cup action because a commercial ran too long. That should never happen. If the game is paused for player welfare, then the broadcast should treat it like part of the match, not just empty space to sell. Show the players, show the coaches, show the tactical huddles. Explain what is changing. Use the moment to educate fans, not pull them away from the biggest tournament in the world, because that is the real opportunity. A hydration break does not have to ruin the match. It could become a quick analysis moment, a reset for viewers, a chance to understand what each coach is doing. But only if the priority stays football, not commercials, not hidden timeouts, not changing the game by accident. Football fans are not stupid. They can feel when something is being sold to them as safety, but used as something else. And that is why this debate has exploded. Because people are not just reacting to water. They are reacting to the feeling that the game is being changed in front of them. And nobody is fully admitting what that change means. So now I want to know what you think. Are hydration breaks a smart way to protect players in dangerous heat? Are they a sneaky tactical timeout that changes the game? Or are they becoming the most expensive water break in sports history? Drop your take in the comments, because I genuinely want to see where fans stand on this. And if you want World Cup coverage that goes deeper than headlines, deeper than hot takes, and follows the story all the way to the tactics, the money, and the drama behind the scenes, subscribe to the Soccer Desk. I'm Jemmy. And this tournament is only getting crazier, because if a 3-minute water break can cause this much controversy before the biggest matches even arrive, imagine what happens when one of these stoppages decides a knockout game. That is when this debate will go from annoying to historic. And trust me, when that moment comes, everybody will suddenly have an opinion.